Good morning, everyone. Welcome all for the live session of Shalakya Tantra third day session. So, I think all are streaming now this Niroga Street live session for especially Shalakya Tantra. Okay, sorry. So, last class we have dealt about the Kabbalah and Gandusha, and previous class we have learned the Dhumapana and its indication, contraindication, and all. So, third day session it is also very important for the Shalakis for a practical aspect and even for UGs for examination aspect also. So, today I am dealing with the topics called Pratisarana, Mukhalepa, and Karnapuranam, which are very helpful for the Shalakis in a day-to-day practice. So, let us begin with the session properly. First, today I am going to deal with the Pratisarana. So, coming to the Pratisarana, Pratisarana is a topical application of a medicated paste or which is prepared with the fresh drugs of the fresh herbal drugs or medicated dravyas which are having a medicinal properties like those are made it into powder form or in a paste form or in a semi solid form that has to be applied to the oral mucosa or the tongue or on the gums with the help of fingers. This procedure we call it as a pratisarana. So we are doing so many we are asking the patient to perform pratisarana in so many disease conditions. So there are three types of classifications based on the drug we used for the pratisarana. First one is the as per the shloka by Sharangadhara Uttara Tantra, which is given by Sharangadhara in Sharangadhara Uttara Tantra 10th chapter 17th shloka. Kalko rasakriyaha churnaha trividam pratisaranam. So he has explained three types, trividam pratisaranam. So that is kalka in the form of paste, rasakriya semi-solid decoction form, then churnaha that is powder form. So there are three types of pratisarana based on the drug which we use for the pratisarana. Yuncha tata kafarogeshu, mainly it is used in the kafarogas. Gandusha Vihitham Aushadam. So the drugs we use for the Gandusha and Kabbalah, as I have dealt in the earlier classes, those drugs are taken here for the Pratisarana effect. So these are the types of the Pratisarana. Where all we can indicate this Pratisarana in Mukagata Roga, as I have told Mukagata Roga, Mukagata Raktasrava, Dantasrava, Danta Moolasrava, Danta Pida, Shota, Daha conditions, we can use this Pratisarana. For example, in Mukapaka, we will use Gairika. So, Gairika as a Pratisarana Lepa. So many drugs we have for the Pratisarana. So, this is very short topic about in ENT. Then, how this Pratisarana will affect? What is the mode of action of Pratisarana will learn today. So, as like Kabbalah and Gandusha, same mode of action will be there, but here the what drug we use or the paste what we use here will remain for the longer duration. So that helps for the absorption of the drug very fastly and the treatment is very effective. Okay, then oral transmucosal absorption is very rapid and it is having a very rich vascular supply. So as there is a absence of stratum corneum in a oral mucosa, so drug absorption will be very fast. So then it has prolonged, as I said earlier, it has prolonged exposure to the mucosa, so the drug action will be very fast. Drug absorption is greater than the other applications like in tongue. So mucosal drug absorption is very greater than the other applications. So this is about very short topic. It's about Pratisarana. You should know the Pratisarana also. Even in gum bleeding and Dantashula, we are going for the Triphala Pratisarana and Triphala Musta Pratisarana. Different kind of drugs we have to opt depending on the conditions, and dosha dosha samuchana we have to, that is samprapti vikatana we have to do, and which dosha is involved in that. According to that we have to select the drugs and apply the churna. It could be a churna, it could be a rasakriya, or it could be kalka. we should apply the Pratisaranam method. So this is about the Pratisaranam. Next, moving to the Mukhalepa, very important topic for everyone, and day to day life we are all practicing in home Mukhalepa. So we are doing while performing on a patient, we should do the what are the indication, contraindications, and how we should apply the Mukhalepa. And even performing on ourselves also, we should know the how to perform the Mukhalepa and what are things we should not do during the Mukhalepa and what we have to do's and don'ts we should learn here. So Mukhalepa, it is one among the Parimarjana Chikitsa. So topical application, it is nothing but topical application of a paste or a herbal medicines over the face, except, remember, except Netra Pradesha, nostrils and lips. Except these parts we have to apply evenly Mukhalepa, and it has to be left for a particular time. I'll tell how what is the duration. For particular time we are leaving that paste there, then we are scraping out. So this is nothing but the Mukhalepa. So remember, except the fresh medicines or a fresh churnas, or we can take a churnas. So make a paste of that and apply evenly over the face, except netra, nostrils and lips. So this is about the Mukhalepa. So what is the function of Mukhalepa? So it improves the color of the skin and it gives a complexion. So that is the main indication of this. So Ashtanga Hridaya, that is in Ashtanga Hridaya, Acharya Vagbhata told there are 3 types of Mukhalepa. As comes to the lepa, there are many types. As according to Sushruta lepa, there are 3 types: Pradeha, Pralepa and Alepam. And Acharya Vagbhata tells there are 10 types of lepas. But comes to the Mukhalepa, as when comes to the Mukhalepa, there are only 3 types. So Mukhalepaha Trida, Mukhalepaha Trida, Dosha, Vishaha, Varna, Varna Krichasa. So he explains that Doshagna Vishagna and Varna. So there are Mukhalepas are 3 types. Those are Doshagna, Vishagna and Varna. So where all we can indicate Doshagna Lepa? Doshagna Lepa, as word itself suggests, elimination of vitiated doshas in the Mukha Pradesha, as it is a topical application. So elimination of those doshas at the topical area, whichever aggravated at Sthanika. So we are treating Sthanika doshas here. That time we are going for the Doshagna Lepa. Example, in Mukha Doshika, Vata Kapha will be aggravated. So we are treating Vata Kapha Mukha Doshika, then we are opting the drugs which are against Viparita Chikitsa. So which are against the Hetu Viparita or Vyadhi Viparita. That paste we have to prepare, that medicinal paste we have to prepare and apply that paste on the face region. So this is Doshagna Mukhalepa. And then comes to the Vishagna. Whenever there is accumulation of Vishak, so that time, so to remove that Visha properties on the Mukha, we are going for Vishagna Lepa. Next, Varna Lepa, as it is word itself indicates Varna, that improves the complexion of the skin. So that is called as a Varna Lepam. It beautifies the face. So nowadays we are all going behind this Varna Lepa only. Okay, next comes to the, as based on the its kriya, we are dividing into 3 types: Doshagna, Vishagna and Varna Lepam. So depending on which type of the medicine, it's like which temperature. Based on the temperature, we are again it is divided into 2 types: Ushnalepa and Shitalepa. Ushnalepa, so Ushnalepa is indicated in Vata Kapha rogas. So as Ushna is viparita to Kapha and Vataraka, because Vata is having the property of Shitra. Tatra Shitra Lagu Shitakara Sukshmaschalo Anilaha. This is the property of Vata. So viparita to that is Ushna. So for that, Kapha and Ushna Vata Gatarogas, we are applying the Ushna Lepas, whereas in Pitta is having the guna of what? It is having the guna of Tikshnata and Ushnata. So viparita to that is Shita. So In Pitta disorders, we are going for the Shitalepas, and even Vishagna and Varnalepa also we are applying the Shitalepa. So there are again based on the Ushnata, we are dividing it to two, Ushnalepa and Shitalepa. So we have studied what types, different classification of lepas. So what are the benefits of these lepas here? So benefits as comes Mukhalepa Shilanam. So those who are performing Mukhalepa, Drudam Bhavati Darshanam. So their vision will become clear. That is a main benefits. So Drudam Bhavati Darshanam. Vadanam cha Parimanam. So Shlakshanata will be present on our face. Vadan is nothing but face. Then Tamasarupam. The our face looks like or resembles like a lotus flower. Okay, as simile is given to Kamala Vadana. So like that, our face will become like a it resembles like a flower of lotus. So this is the benefits of our Mukhalepa. So where all we can indicate this Mukhalepa? Again, Acharya Vagbhatta in Ashtanga Hridaya Sutrasthana, 22nd chapter, 17th shloka, he explains that Sa tu hanti suyojitaha. So remember, Sa tu hanti suyojita. If we plan properly, suyojitaha. Akala palita. Akala palita. Venga valita. Timira nilikaha. So Akala palita is premature graying of hair, that is palityam. Then Vengya, melasma. Then Valita, wrinkle. So early wrinkling or wrinkle formation of wrinkles on the face. And Timira, blurring of vision. Nilika, bluish discoloration, pigmentation on the face. So these can be cured if we plan proper Mukhalepa. So this is the indication, and this benefit also, it is an indication of these conditions: Akala Palitam, Vengya, Nilika, Timira. So these are the conditions where we should go for the Mukhalepa. So next, where all contraindication of the Mukhalepa, where all we should not go for the Mukhalepa. In penis, in acute rhinitis conditions, you should not go for the Mukhalepa. Then Ajirna, Arochika, after Nasya Karma, and in case of Hanugraha. So when there is a stiffness in Hanugraha, you are not able to apply it properly, and again it will irritates the patient. So you should not go for the Mukhalepa in such conditions. So these are the contraindications. Next comes to the procedure. Very simple procedure, even you can perform in your home also, but while performing on a patient, you should know the proper procedures. So smearing the medicated dravya evenly on the face. So this is except, as I have said, except eyes, nostrils and the lips. So except this part, evenly you have to apply the Mukhalepa. So how much we should apply, how much the thickness should be. It is also Acharya Vagbhatta also given the thickness should, how much thickness we should perform the Mukhalepa. For minimal thickness, that is 1/4 angula, Acharya Vagbhatta says 1/4 angula, that is 0.5 mm thickness should be there. Whereas medium thickness 1/3 angula, that is 0.7 mm. Whereas maximum thickness is half angula, that is 1.1 mm or 1.21 mm. So this is about the thickness of the Mukhalepa. Then comes to the duration. How much duration we have to keep the Mukhalepa. So not only Mukhalepa, all the lepas you have to take it off before it get dried up completely. Okay. So when it is in Ardra Avastha, so before complete drying only we have to remove the Mukhalepa. Why? Because if we keep the Mukhalepas even in a drying condition, what happens? It will reduces your complexion. Again, dosha get aggravates there. And one more thing, you will get a wrinkles on your face. So while performing on a patient also, while performing on yourselves only, to remove the lepa before it before it dried off completely. Okay, so as words goes like this: ashushkasya stitamasya shushko dushaschidam tam ardayitva apanayet. See, tam ardayitva apanayet. While it is in a moisture condition only, we have to remove that. Tadante abhyangam acharayet. So after that, after removing your mukhalepam, you have to go for the abhyangam with the oil. This is the sneha dravya. You should go for the abhyangam. So many of us, or even while performing mukha on a patient, will not go for this karma. Will remove the lepa and ask the patient for washing his face with a soap. Again, it is very contraindicated, because you should not go for the soap water or any uh, chemical composition drugs like creams or face washer, like what we use nowadays. Those are contraindicated after the mukalepa, because after mukalepa what you have to go for the mrudu abhyanga. Okay, next comes to what should not be done during the mukalepa. So Divaswapna is contraindicated there, so you should not go for Divaswapna, Atapa Sevana and Agni Sevana. So after that, Shoka. In this, you should not do these activities after applying the Mukhalepa. So next comes to what all Mukhalepa we can use as Varne Mukhalepas like Rakta Chandanam, Manjishta, Vatankura, Masur dal, uh, Masur dal. All dravyas are taken in equal proportion and make it a fine paste. Then apply it to your face. This is Varna Lepa. Then Doshagna Lepa is Punarnava, Shunti, Daru. So these medicines have to take, and depends on Doshagna Lepa, depends on the doshas which are involved, and according to that you have to select the dravyas. So what is the mode of action of lepa? So we have studies mukha we have known what is the mukha lepa now, what is the classification of mukha lepa, where and all we should apply mukha lepa, where all, in which all condition contraindication of the mukha lepa is there, and then how to apply mukha lepa, when to remove mukha lepa, is all we have studied. So what is the mode of action of mukha lepa? For being a Vaidyas, we have to know the mode of action of each and every treatment procedure. So, lepa, and one more thing, while applying lepa, always you should remember that while applying lepa, you should apply the lepa against the hair follicles. Okay, against the hair follicle, you should apply the mukha lepa. So, what it facilitates the quicker absorption of the drug, because the drug Romakupa, drug absorbs against the Romakupa, and then there will be presence of Svedavahini Srotas, and Siramukhi is there. So when we apply it against the hair follicles, the drug absorption will be quicker. So action will be, we can expect the results there. So because you should always apply Mukhalepa against the hair follicle. This is one rule. Then which pitta, which doshas are situated in our skin? That is Brajaka pitta. When it comes to pitta, it is Brajaka pitta. Tvakastam Brajakam Brajana Tvachaha, as Vakpatacharya says. So Brajaka pitta, what it is? It metabolizes the dravya which we have applied, so that it facilitates the metabolism. It facilitates the metabolism and manifests the color complexion over the applied face. Then Vayu, it is Sparshana, Tvak is also sthana for Vata, Sparshanendriyam Vatasya. So it as Vata karma is Upashoshana. So what happens? The Upashoshana, the quality of Upashoshana of Vayu will absorb and penetrates the drug deep into the skin. So thus this is how the lepa will act on our face. And again, Veer and Prabhava of drug will also act on the based on this active principle, and it will give expected result. So this is about the Mukhalepa. So whenever you are performing on the patients, you should remember the do's and don'ts, and also you have to ask the patient to uh, remove the lepa before it get dried completely. So this is about the Mukhalepa. Then next comes to the Karnapurana. Sorry. Then next comes to the Karnapurana. Karnapurana is one among the Bahya Snehana method. So we are performing Karnapurana in different Karnagata Rogas. So being Shalakis, we should know the Karnapurana procedure properly. So this is very important in as related to the ENT topics. So Karnapurana is Bahya Snehana. It's one among the Bahya Snehana, and we are using this Karnapuranam as a part of Shiro Abhyanga. Okay, as a part of Shiro Abhyanga, we are also doing the Karnapuranam, but there is different method. We are following as a part of Shiro Abhyanga, we are not performing some basic procedures. Means after doing the snehana, that is abhyanga to the karna, directly they'll put or drop the ears, drop the oil into the ear. But here we are using, in Karnapurana we are using Swarasa, Mutra and Sneham. So these three we are using here. So we should know how to put the how to drop the Karna Purana Dravyas. That is very important. So next, as coming to the Karna Puranam. So Karna Purana is nothing but putting or dropping the oil, that is Sneha, Mutra or uh, uh, Sneha or Mutra or Swarasa into the external auditory canal, or the external auditory canal after the Abhyanga and Svedana is called as the Karana Purana. So as verse goes like this, which is given by Acharya Vagbhatta, Dharet Purnam. See, Dharet Purnam Karne, should put the eardrops completely into the external auditory canal. Karnamulam Vimardhanet. Karnamulam Vimardhanet. So we have after Vimardhana, after the Sthanika Abhyanga and Svedana, Yavat Matra Shatam. So Yavat Matra Shatam Vedane here, we have in Karnagatarogas, the Matra Kala is explained here. So for 100 Matra Kala you have to wait for the Karna Purana. So this is about the Karna Purana definition, what we call it as. Next comes to the timings. When and all we should go for the Karna Purana. Acharya Sharangadhara have explained this one, because he said go for using of the rasa swarasa. Rasa here is rasa and mutradi aushadha. Whenever we are doing karana with swaras and mutra, go for the proper timing is at a morning time, that too before food we should go for the Karna Purana. Well, we are giving Karna Purana with Tailas, then go for the evening time. So as shlokas goes like that, the reference is Sharangadhara Uttara Kanda 11th chapter 130th shloka. So rasadaihi puranam karne bhojanat prak prashasyate. Bhojanat prak, that is before food, it is precious the time. Then Tailadehe Puranam, when you are going for the Tailadi Purana, Karanam Bhaskarasa Upagamanyam. So that is after the that is after Bhaskara, that is after sunset, he explains. That is nothing but at a evening time. So this is about the time duration timings, what Acharya Sharangadhara has mentioned. Then comes to the procedures. So as procedure goes like this: Svedayet Karanadesham tu Kinchit Pashvashahinaha. So Svedayet Karanadesham. Karanadesham is nothing but your Karna Pradesha. You have to go for Svedana and Snehana. Kinchit Parshvashahina. He also explained the how to position of the snehana, position of the patient while performing the karna. मूत्रैः स्नेहैः रसैः कोष्णस्ततः. Mutra, sneha and rasa. So that is swarasa. It should be koshna, that is sukushna. Shrotam prapurayed. In shrota you have to fill it out. So this is about the procedure what Sharangadhara explains. So let's come. We'll study in detail the procedure aspects. So first and foremost, while performing any procedure, we will go for the Purva Karma. So what is the Purva Karma for the Karna Purana here? Being Shalakis, you should not blindly go for the Karna Puranam. So what you have to do is a detailed history taking is very must. It is very important. When patient complains about the reduced hearing or hearing loss when it comes to the OPD, so detailed history taking is must. So after that you have, after complete history taking, you should go for the examination. Proper examination of a ENT is very important, because Bhadirata could be caused by anything. Okay, if there is a conductive deafness, there will be a rupture of the tympanic membrane will be there, that is perforation will be there, or otosclerosis could be there. So we have to rule out the causes of Bhadirata, then go for the treatment. Okay, if blindly if the patient comes with a Bhadirya, if blindly will give Karna Purana, will worsen the conditions of the patient and it will lead to complications. Okay, so what we have to do, proper examination, that includes the proper history taking and then proper examination. In examination part comes, we should go for the otoscopic examination. So all of you may know what is otoscope. With the help of otoscope, we should go for the external auditory canal examination properly. If there is any impacted wax is there, we have to remove that wax, then go for the Karna Purana. If the tympanic membrane is perforated, okay, that is second. It could be because of CSOM in active state, that is chronic suppurative otitis media could be the one reason, or any traumatic perforations could be there. And also, if in acute conditions like acute serous otitis media, ask the patient whether he is having any discharges from his ears. So if patient is having acute serous otitis media and even chronic serous otitis media also, when it is in an active state, there will be a discharge. So go for the proper examination of the ear. If there is a tympanic perforation, then don't go for the Karna Puranam, because the whatever we are putting the medicines, no, that will directly enter into the middle ear and it will worsen the condition, because ASM is such a conditions where there will be a inflammation is there, that is acute inflammation of a middle ear. So if we put again the medicine, or it will worsen the condition. So better to avoid, or better to avoid Karana Purana in such conditions. So that is very important. Then after examining properly, so clean the ears, clean the earbud, clean the external auditory canal with the earbuds or with the help of your chopsins or a probe. If you have any impacted wax, go for the oral syringing. And even when there is a condition of otomycosis also, you should not go for the Karana Purana, because you first clean it properly. First you should treat it properly. In that conditions, in otomycosis all, you go for the Karna Dupana rather than Karana Purana. So you should know Karna Dupana is very effective in the cases of otomycosis. So it will vanish. It will otomycosis will vanish very uh, quickly after the Karna Dupana. So in otomycosis, what we have to do? First we have to do Karna Prakshalana. Sorry, not Karna. Okay, Karna Prakshalana you should do, and Karna Pramarjana. Karna Pramarjana. We have to otomycosis debris what are present in the ear. We have to take it out. then go for the Karna Dupana. It is very effective in the cases of otomycosis. Okay, not Karna Purana is not indicated in otomycosis condition. So ear should be cleansed properly with the oral syringe. Also, you can go for the Karna Prakshalana, what we call. With the help of oral syringe, we should clean the external auditory canal. So after completing the Purva Karma, after proper examination and after proper history taking, proper examination, and you should go for the Karana Purana. So we have examined the patient now. Then what we should do? So first and foremost thing is position of the patient. As Acharya said, that is Parshva Shahina. Left lateral position is preferable here. So when we are doing for the right ear Karana Purana, ask the patient to sleep in a left lateral position, whereas in a left ear Karana Purana in a right lateral position. In the same way, ask the patient to uh, keep his hand beneath the head. So this is the procedure. This is the position of the patient. So after positioning, proper positioning of the patient, what you have to do? You have to go for the Sthanika Abhyanga. So first you have to take a lukewarm oil. Then first and foremost thing is you have to massage the anterior part of your ear, that is here. From upwards to downwards movement, you have to go for the massage, that is very mrudu abhyanga. And same way with the posterior aspect, you have to go for the mrudu abhyanga, that is upward and downward direction. For 5 minutes you have to do this procedure. After the massage, after massaging, after doing snehana or mrudu abhyanga from anterior and posterior aspect of the ear, then go for the ear pinna, that is auricle. So how we have to perform that auricle massaging is, you have to hold your auricle or ear pinna, grasp it in your fingers and the thumb. Okay, then go for the clockwise and anti-clockwise direction. Okay, with the smeared the finger should be smeared with the um, sneha dravya, that is oil. Then go for clockwise and anti-clockwise movement of the while doing the Karana Abhyanga. So that is ear pinam, what we call auricle. So that we have to do clockwise and anti-clockwise with the finger grasp, ear pinna grasping finger and the thumb. So this is the proper Abhyanga procedure for the external auricle. So it should be carried out for about 5 minutes. Then it comes to the after Mrudu Abhyanga, then go for the Rudu Svedana. How we should perform? There are many types of Svedana as explained by Acharyas, and you already learnt it in even in Panchakarma also, Svedana procedures. Here we are doing Mrudu Svedana, so we are opting different method here. So take a one towel, so dip it in boiling water and squeeze it till it gets wet. So that towel is taken and you have to perform waving movement on the ear. So that is kind of Svedana. And again, by simple touching on the ear on the your auricle, and by pressing, so by pressing, so waving, touching, and by pressing, by these modes you can give Sthanika Mrudu Abhyanga. Okay, so this is the protocol what we'll practice here while performing the Karana Purana. So this procedure we have to carry it out for about 10 minutes. Okay, so after that Sthanika Svedana and Sthanika Abhyanga and Sthanika Svedana has been performed here. So after that, what we need to do comes to the Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma, that we are putting the eardrops into the external auditory canal. As we all know, external auditory canal is in S shape. So when we are putting medicine, what happens? It will not go and perform its action. So for that, what we need to do? We have to we have to pull the ear pin upward and backward slightly so that S shaped external auditory canal becomes bit straight. Even while examining the external auditory canal, we have to perform this. So then what we have to do? We have to drop the swarasa or swarasa, mutra or sneha dravyas with the help of dropper, and we have to uh, fill the external auditory canal. So this is the procedure. Then duration. How much duration we have to keep there? For Karnagata Rogas, 100 Matra Kala. So I think you all knowing about what is Matra Kala. It is the time required for opening and closing of eyelids at once. Okay, this is the Matra Kala. So remember, it is the time required for opening and closing of eyelid at once, or else time required for your finger to touch around your right hand, finger for right hand to touch around the right knee joint at a one round at a once is called as a matra kala. So these are the two modes of uh, taking the matra kalas. So for karnagata rogas 100 matra kala is explained. For kantagata rogas 500 matra kala. For shirogata rogas we have to keep the dravya in 1000 matra kala. Whereas in swastha also, when we are going for the as a dinacharya part, that means in a daily regimen when we are going for the karnapurna, keep it for 100 matra kala. So these are the matra kalas, that is time duration of keeping the medicated oil in a external auditory canal. So next, Paschat Karma. What the Paschat Karma will follow here? So remove oil with the help of cotton, then clean the external auditory canal very neatly, because if we keep, if sneha dravya is there, nothing, you should not worry. If we keep swarasa and all for a longer duration, and if the patient lives in the habitat like cold season and all, what patient may develop the fungal infections. So after the paschat karma, you have to clean the external auditory canal properly. So this is the paschat karma. And ask the patient to keep the ear plug, ask the patient to keep a cotton and or a ear plug to protect himself. So this is about the karna purana procedure. So, what are the benefits of this Karna Purana? So, as Charaka Sutrasthana in Matrashiti Adhyaya, Acharya explained that benefits of Karna Purana is Na Karna Rogaha Vatotta. So see here, Na Karna Roga Vatotta, Na Manya Anugraha. There will not be any Vatacha disorders, Vatacha Karna Rogas will occur if we go for the Karna Purana daily, and there will not be Hanu and Manyagraha. Manyagraha and Hanugraha will not occur. Now Uchchai Shruti and Badira, there will not be deafness. The patient will not suffer from the deafness. Sthana Ittam Karnam Tarpanat. So he said that Karna Purana is nothing. Karna Tarpana, we are using the oil here. And then again Sushruta explains that, Sushruta Chikitsa Sthana he explains, हनुमन्याशिरः कर्णशूलग्नं कर्णपूरणम्. So Hanumanyaashira, Hanushula, Manyashula, Shirashula, and even Karnashula will not occur if we go for the proper Karnapurana. So these are the benefits of Karnapurana. So what we all studied is definition of Karnapurana, duration, when timings for the Karnapurana, when we have to go for the Karnapurana and when we should not go for the Karnapurana, and proper procedure, how uh, how to perform the Karnapurana, that is Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma and Paschat Karma, and also examination aspect. So how to examine the patient and how to opt the patient for the Karnapurana, what are the contraindications of the Karnapurana, that we have studied here. So mainly Karnapurana will indicate for, as I said earlier, in Bhadireta, that is especially Vardhakijinya Bhadira, what we call it as presbycusis, and when there is a noise induced hearing loss. So in that condition what happens, there is aggravation of Vata. what we take is the Vata is aggravated here. Because of Vata dosha, the Karna Rogas will occur. Because of Vata dosha, we will go for the Karna Purana, as I said earlier. So what is the mode of action of this Karna Purana? So Karna Purana reduces the frequency of sound by reflecting and refraction. So that is because sound frequency changes from when it travels from one medium to other medium. So as we are putting the oil, so here media get changes, so sound frequency also get decreases, so that by that patient will not have the problem like deafness or reduced hearing, tinnitus like conditions. So that is one of the mode of action of the Karna Purana. Then Karna is sthana for what? Yes, it is a sthana for Vayu and Akasha Mahabhuta. So as there is a Vata, Vayu and sthana for Akasha Mahabhuta, Snehana is indicated here. So Vata is having a Ruksha Guna. As I said, Tatra Ruksha Lagu Shitakara Sukshma Shalonila. Vata is having Ruksha Guna. So what we need to do here? Snehana. So proper Snehana, proper Karna Purana will decreases the Vata Rogas in the Karna. Then smooth walls have a tendency to directly propagate the sound waves. So after doing the Karna Purana, what happens? The walls of the ear, external auditory canal, the walls of the external auditory canal get smooth. So by this, what happens? The sound wave propagates properly. Then Karna Purana helps to maintain the cilias present in the inner ear, so which are responsible for the hearing. So Karna Purana thus helps the maintaining of the cilias. So these are the mode of action, the probable mode of action of the Karna Purana. So by this mechanism, we can prevent the Badirya, that is mainly Vardhakya Badirya, where there is a person is not able to hear at the age of 40 or 60 because of the uh, aggravation of Vata. It comes to the modern science, there will be a weakness of the sensory nerves in the ear. So that by doing proper Karna Purana, as by adopting it in our day-to-day regimen, we can prevent the Vardhakya Badirya. So these are all the things today. Today's topic, that is, I have dealt with the Pratisarana, Karna Purana and Mukhalepa. Very short topics, but very important to know for practice also, and even for UGC, for your examination purpose also. And so this completes this session today. Next session we will be dealing with the Murdhini Taila in detail. So that is also a very important aspect in a clinically and even for exam purpose. So stay tuned for the Niroga Street. Thank you one and all for being here. Thank you.